So this is going to come across a little ranty. If the reason I know that the marketing that you're doing online as a personal trainer or health coach is probably not working is because I see so many pages, and look, I used to be in this basket as well. I was doing exactly what I'm about to talk about because I got really technical in learning how to fix the human body. So we really want to use those skills and tips and techniques in our marketing. However, the reason I know that it's not working, and you please feel free to prove me wrong, but if you aren't getting people from social media to message you, or if you're running ads and people aren't replying, like they're just ghosting you, it's because there's no other content for them to actually consume of yours. So that actually does make a big deal because the marketplace with Facebook ads and fitness is rather flooded, as you've probably noticed. My point is, I saw a video last night on somebody's business page. Now, at least they're making videos, because if you're not, then you are going to get very behind and you should make videos. So I'm going to presume that you're making some kind of content and you're putting it onto your social media pages, maybe Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, I don't know, a couple of different places. You can get ranty like me, but the disconnect is that we're talking about what's functional exercise. Well, first of all, if you asked a 10-year-old what functional means, do they know what functional means? And I'm not saying that your clients are as young or immature as 10-year-olds. What I am saying is that your clients might actually be doctors and lawyers and really high-paid, clever, intellectual individuals. However, it's not their job to learn how functional exercise helps them solve their problem. That job is marketing. That job is your job. It is not a marketing consultant's job. It is your job to learn how to explain how your tools can help them solve their problem. And that's the gap that's missing. So unfortunately, if you're not getting people message you, this is what's going on. I'm about to tell you exactly why and what you need to do to fix it. So if you're talking about functional exercise in your posts, a little bit of it's fine, but they need to see your stuff and go, wow, I'm in. I really want to do your thing. I need to work with you. Clearly, you know how to solve my problem. How much is it? How did you know that was my problem? Were you writing about me? Right? Which I've actually had people message me and say, oh my God, were you writing that about me? Of course I wasn't writing it about them. I didn't even know them. So my point is, if you're saying functional exercise, or you're talking about kettlebells, or you're talking about group training, or you're talking about HIIT training, or you're talking about Tabata, or you're talking about strength and conditioning, or you're talking about posture, or you're talking about posture assessment, or you're talking about movement angles in the joints and stuff. Now, you can get quite technical. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about any of that stuff. Apart from like other trainers, we know what you're talking about. Your client understands their problem. Your client, I don't care if they're a doctor or a lawyer or, a brain surgeon, they don't have the time or the inclination, and they do not understand how what you're talking about solves their problem. That's what good marketing does. And that is your job to learn. I'm not saying you have to do that with me. I'm saying if you invest in anything, you must learn how to do marketing, because it is what sets you apart. And I'm presuming that you're already a good trainer. I'm presuming that you're already actually technically able to get people great results with their body. So, or you know where your knowledge ends, and then you refer them to another fantastic individual that you might network with. And if that's the case, and you're brilliant at that, and you know how to get people results, and you're putting content out on social media, online, anywhere, and people aren't messaging you, please feel free to ask questions as we go, and people aren't messaging you, then this is actually the problem. Is this making sense? Even if you're watching the replay, tell me, have you got any questions? It's so critically important, obviously. If you're not getting people message you and respond to your things, one, okay, yes, there's a lot of noise out there, but two, it's because your stuff doesn't mean anything. It's just contributing to the noise. So sometimes it's actually better to not put as much stuff out, but just learn how to make it meaningful. In other words, what is the problem that your client has that you can actually help them solve? Now, you don't tell them that they've got the problem. They already know that they've got the problem. But something that you can do immediately is start to go, well, those kettlebells that I use to work out with people, or that strength and conditioning stuff that I do, or that posture assessment, injury prevention stuff that I help people with, how is it that it actually helps that person? Oh, that's right, it helps their back pain, it helps them to move better, it helps them to feel better, it helps them to get out of pain, so that's a good motivator. Now, guys, the reason I know this, I'm a CHEK practitioner, so if you want to, I believe, like, there are some of, and I'm only a level 1, and I've got friends that are level 2s and 3s and 4s. They are the smartest people in the industry that I've ever met. They know lots of things about strength and conditioning, but even a step before that, how to get the body to perform and function at its most optimal. Now, clients aren't thinking, I want my body to perform at the most optimal, but I know all these mistakes because I've made them all. And you don't need to keep making them. If you've invested like almost $100,000 into your education, like me, I mean, my family has always made fun of me because they're like, why don't you have 6 degrees by now? Because you've spent that much money. Family's another thing, right? But I don't care, because the information that I needed wasn't in a degree, it was in a certain course about the body. But where the disconnect is, and I see this so many times, please learn what the problems are that you solve, because we really do need to dull down the language that we use if you want people to actually message you. It's important that a 10-year-old could understand the concept that you're talking about. They don't understand, or do they care about joint angles, or I could actually go on about this for a really long time. If you've got any questions, let me know. If you're in that bracket of experienced trainer and you can't get people to message you, again, let me know. Maybe I've got time to chat. Maybe I've got time to help. Maybe I don't. Usually I do, though, and I'm always happy to answer people's questions. If you're a beginner, there's a new course that I've got launching for that, because I think it is important to get really good at helping people to get results before you worry about too much of, expanding and taking over the world. But just know that where you need to invest your money, if you've been in the business for a few years already and you know how to get results, you need to invest your money in learning how to market, whether it's written word, whether it's videos. It really doesn't matter. It is in the words and understanding is the part that's important, critically important. It can literally double or triple the size of your business like within a year. Let me know how you go.